Well, hello and welcome to the I Shall Bloom Show. Yes, a show where we interview stellar individuals whose work and legacy has profoundly uplifted our community for the better. Each week, we interview a new guest and we take a deeper dive into the work that they're doing in their lives, collectively sharing ideas and experience. You see, here at I Shall Bloom, you shall bloom, and we shall bloom. Today, I have Karaoke Dee Dee in the house, y'all.
All right. Hey,
Karaoke Dee Dee's in the house, y'all. Karaoke Dee Dee's in the house, y'all.
one more time.
Karaoke Dee Dee's in the house, y'all. House, y'all. House, y'all. And
Oh my God.
not just Karaoke Dee, but the king, the king and queen of karaoke is Mr. Eddie. So we'll just say Eddie and Dee Dee, or Dee Dee and Eddie is here. Yes. So I was actually around, and I was like, well, what is so special about karaoke? Because it's an addiction all around the world. You know what I mean? Karaoke, what in Japanese, it's we know the meaning of that is coming together. I thought it was masking someone else's song,
Right.
what karaoke mean in Japanese, but we'll see. So what is the addiction? So I was thinking, I said, well, we have this circle that everybody meets together. They go all around the city and they sing karaoke. And so I said, hey, would you like to come on the show so we can talk about that? What is the addiction? So I guess I could introduce you again. Without further ado, it's Eddie and Dee Dee. I don't know who's going to talk first.
Hello.
Yes, ladies
Oh, he's
first.
pointing to me.
Yes,
Okay.
ladies
Okay.
first.
So the question is, what is the addiction
What
of karaoke?
is the addiction? No, tell me no,
No.
because you had an addiction when you first saw it. I know he was telling the story 2 years ago. And what happened?
Okay, so we're going to go all the way back to my childhood. Back in the day, I just loved to sing, okay? I mean, to the point where when I was a child, I would, like in school, they had talent shows and I would get into talent shows. And I always wanted to be Diana Ross, okay? So I recruited my sisters to be the Supremes. And we started out singing Ain't No Mountain High Enough. And we had our, little dance routine. We had costumes. I mean, we just went, well, I'm from Detroit, okay? And we just kind of went overboard with it. But ever since I was a kid, I loved to perform. And I was always recruiting people to be my backup singers, dancers, and stuff like that. When I grew up, reality in life kicked in, okay? You get married, you have kids. And I guess I just kind of put it on the back burner. Didn't really think about it, but still listened to music, still loved music. And once my kids were grown, one day I went to this place. We were living in California. And I heard they had karaoke, right? So, girl, I went in the bathroom. I picked out my song. I went in the bathroom, started practicing, because, I ain't done this in a long time. I went in the bathroom, started practicing my song. They called me up. I sang it. And once I did that first song, it all came back.
Yes.
And then we moved from California to Texas.
Yes.
And at that point, I just had to find some place to come out and sing again. And we found a place. It was called the Raz. That was.
Because you told me to find out where we could do karaoke. So I went and found that there's this place called the Raz.
Yeah.
Where people of color went. It was different than just any karaoke.
It was.
It was trying to find somebody
well,
that looked like us that did karaoke. So I found this couple, and I told my wife about it. And when she came to town, she didn't even sit her bags down. As soon as the show was, she went straight down.
Oh, right. Every Friday. It even got to the point when, before we even got there, they were like, Mr. and Mrs. Huff, your table's ready. Because you know what? It really is an addiction. If you love to sing, if you love to entertain, back then there was really no place for us to go. There are people that are so talented, you don't even know it. You don't know them because there was no place for them to go and share their talent. But with this karaoke, if you have that passion, even if you can't really sing, but you just love to sing, that's what karaoke is for. And I tell people all the time, because I try to get everybody up to sing. Oh, I don't sing. I don't. You know what? All you need to do is get up and have fun. Yes. And after the first time, I promise you, you will come back and do it again. So if you're sitting out there holding out on us, all you need to do is come and get up one time, and the bug will hit you. I promise you.
So, excuse me again, and I know when you came home, bro, you came home that day, and I know you just told me, you're like, I want to do my own career. Like, I want to be a host.
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you what happened was the people that were doing it down at the Raz. It's really crazy because we later found out that the female in the couple was actually related to Eddie, but we didn't find that out until much later. But what happened was they had to go on vacation, and if you're not there to do it, your customers are coming every week, so they're expecting karaoke to be there.
Yes.
So they asked me and Eddie if we would do it while they were gone.
I get to be the roadie.
He was the roadie
and all the equipment.
Set everything up. That's how he got started being a roadie.
I got started. I was there to actually participate. I was there to do the work.
Yeah, and I was the one, I was the front person on the mic, getting people up, just having a lot of fun. And it seems like once I did that, then, and they came back, and I had to give up everything. I had to give it all back. But I was addicted. I was like, oh my God, I really like this. And I said, Eddie, I want my own equipment.
No, you didn't say that. What happened was we had went fishing. We went fishing. The water hose on the washing machine.
Oh yeah.
The whole first floor.
Okay, let me take over from there. Okay. So we went and we spent the night on the lake. Okay, we went fishing and everything. And when we came back home the next morning, my neighbors were like, your house is flooding. We had to turn the water off from the outside. And I'm like, what? We opened the door and water was just coming out of our house. Okay. And we later found out that the hose on the washing machine broke and the water was just all night, just, everywhere. So we had to get a whole lot of work done and everything on the house. And Eddie said, what was it you said you wanted?
I wanted to be comfortable after doing all that work. I wanted to be comfortable and be able to enjoy watching TV. So I went to
a store.
Where they had big TVs, and I bought me a big 60-inch TV. It was that new stuff at the time.
Right.
The old school now, but it was old school.
Yeah.
And then I got a couch that kind of matched the TV.
The TV and everything.
And so I got it all in the house, and it was set up, and Deborah came home, and she saw the TV and saw the house. And she said, well, you got that? I'm going to get me a karaoke system. That's how that
trust me, he spent a lot of money on that stuff, right? I was like, well, if you're going to buy that, I'm going to buy me a karaoke system, okay?
I didn't spend as much as she spent. Her first system was $10,000.
At the table.
That was the first system. Yeah. But so anyway. So anyway, I bought my karaoke system, but I really bought it because I just wanted to keep singing, okay? It wasn't to go out and do it professionally. I was like setting it up in my house, people coming over, and we're having like all-nighters singing. Nobody would go home.
Right.
We're up like 5 o'clock in the morning downstairs singing karaoke and everything. And we were just having a good, like parties and karaoke parties and stuff like that all the time. And then a friend of mine that did karaoke had a gig that, well, he actually had two. One that he did every week and then one that he did once a year. And he asked me, he said, Dee Dee, they've contacted me. I only do it for them once a year and I'm already booked. Would you like to do it? Wow. He goes, I know you've got your equipment. And I was like, but I don't have any music. I mean, like music to go out and do karaoke. He says, well, you can use my music because what the gig he was doing was DJing.
Yeah.
So, we reluctantly, I was like thinking I'm totally not prepared for this.
Yeah.
I was, yes. So I brought people with me. I did the gig for him. I brought people with
It
me.
was all nighter.
It was late. Yeah, it was a camping. It was wait. Okay, all right. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna tell you guys this. So, the people that we were doing it for was for a motorcycle gang.
Yeah.
That don't look like us.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all the way outside of town in the woods camping. And I was like, okay, I'm bringing people with me. Okay, we're not going out here by ourselves. I don't know you guys like that.
Yeah.
So I brought people with me, and we had so much fun. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing me. Okay.
Yes.
And the people that were there, they had so much fun. They invited me back every year.
Wow.
Every year, because this was an event that they did every year.
Yeah.
And then it just took off from there. I'd be doing a gig here and people are like, I'm having a party. Can you, and it was all by word of mouth for me.
Yes.
I wasn't trying to be in the business initially, but people just kept coming and asking me, and I'm just the girl who can't say no. Okay.
Not to karaoke.
Not to karaoke anyway. Right. And, it took off and it grew from there.
Awesome. So that was the love for how many years? That's been.
That had, okay.
Well, it was 95.
It was 1995.
Oh,
okay. And the couple that did it, he was the one that did the karaoke, and his wife was the one that was kind of like
his wife.
Yeah, like he and I.
And so
yes.
And what happened was he got to where he had an assignment, and because of this assignment, they didn't want to just like drop their gig,
leave their customers hanging.
They saw that she loved karaoke so much,
yes.
And Deborah knew that she had me as her roadie, so
they
offered her, and so we ended up
helping the wife
in their gigs.
Getting their gigs.
Because at first we helped the wife, next thing you know, they were our gigs. So that's how it goes. It started off, it was she was just helping another karaoke person that wasn't going to be able to do it because he was like going to be
he was gone
away for at least a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
But before you know it, it ended up being our gigs, and then her business grew through the grapevine source, word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, every gig we've ever done
is by word of mouth, pretty much. Yeah.
And that's how it is when you have a gift, and your gift is your love.
Right.
Just, what I mean? So it's not work, it's not really a job. Huh?
Right. And, not really a job. But the thing about it was I was still working a 9 to 5, or I should say a 9 to 6 or 9 to 7 or whatever, however long I was at work during the day. So I was doing that at night, going to bed at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, then getting up and going to work and doing my daytime.
You were still active duty.
I was.
You retired.
And then I was still doing both.
And then you did both.
Yeah.
20 years. Wow.
Yes. Well, it's been longer than that now.
No, but it was over 20 years that you always worked.
The 2 jobs. Yeah, 2.
Because it's a passion.
Yeah.
The second one is your passion. So if it was just 2 jobs, something, like it's stress, it's kind of stressful working 2 jobs, then it's a job for real.
Right.
But having a passion as your second.
I never really felt like I was going to work when I was doing karaoke.
Right.
It was just so.
I did though. People used to watch me, and I've gotten older. People still watch me, and they see me setting up.
Yeah.
They feel guilty, so they try to help. And most of the time when they try to help, it just kind of gets in the way because they already got a process. But the truth of the matter is, people see the work.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when we first set up, we were there for that time. Karaoke Dee Dee.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Yeah,
At times, she has a nice little, what do you call that? Women don't sweat, but what is that? A glow.
Yeah, yeah, I said the same thing too. Like, man, when I first came into this, and I saw this, and I was like, why don't you go help? He's like, no, he don't want any help. I was like, why don't you
Mhm.
go help him? Look at him doing all that by himself. And then once I learned, I'm like, he got it's routine.
It
Well,
is,
you put
yeah.
everything down.
Yeah.
You got, when it's almost time, you watch the guy start pulling things.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a process. Yeah, her husband's sitting over there. Yeah. He knows about being addicted, having a karaoke addiction, don't you, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, come on over. Come on over, because you one of my karaoke people, okay? I love it. I love it when he shows up. Nobody sings like Brad, okay? And I love it when he shows up at a show.
Time I did karaoke, it was at Midtown, I believe.
I was doing it at Midtown
You was
back
doing it at
then.
Midtown,
Yes.
and that was my first time ever. Cause I told you I never would get through a song. I always had to say I used to have to go back and ask her, can I redo it up? She said, nah, we don't do
No
do
do-overs.
overs.
You don't
Yeah.
get do-overs, okay? Yeah.
So
I do have some rules,
so that
okay?
was that, and it's been, it's an addiction. Once you start, it ain't no turning it off.
I'm the rose
Yeah.
So
I'm not addicted, but I'm
and
addicted to watching.
that's what I tell her. And do it when y'all out, like when y'all go out or out of town or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
Only reason why I hadn't been because I started doing this school.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason why I hadn't been.
Okay. And that happens a lot too, because what happens is you develop a following of people that do love to do karaoke. And I've been doing this for years. And people that I've seen back in the day, a lot of them I don't see anymore.